forsaking all others. See, this is an exclusive covenant. When you're getting married, you're saying, this is my partner till death do us part, forsaking all others. No other women, no girlfriends, no flirting. She is in. He is in. So long as you both shall live, and you said, I will. The Bible commands us to be kind one to another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, even as God for Christ's sake has forgiven you. See, I've been forgiven a whole lot. God's been tender and kind to me and gracious to me. I'm grateful for the compassion of God that are new every morning on this old boy. And so it should be easy for me to express that same tenderness and forgiveness. We said a while ago when we started this sermon series on the home, I said there's always going to be another family that's worse off than you. And I'll be preaching these messages and you're thinking, well, that family over there, they really need to hear that. Or you're thinking of your own spouse. Boy, she really needed to hear that this morning. Or, yeah, preacher, you really got him this morning. But see, that's not what this is all about. Because we're not here to get one over on our spouse. We're here actually to cultivate sympathy for one another. Cultivate sympathy for our spouse. But also what I want you to do is put the finger right here. Because the only good that these series of messages will have is when I see myself in the light of this. Because I can't make decisions for Leslie. That's her job. I can only make decisions for me. And I can choose to love my wife no matter what I feel. No matter if the emotion is there or not. Because love is a choice. And we should express that love. I think you should express it verbally. You know, in Proverbs 31, it says her children rise up and call her blessed. That's the children saying to the wife, the mother, you're blessed. And then it says her husband also, and he praiseth her. You know, it's a good thing for a husband to praise his wife publicly, privately. Tell her every day that you love her. Remember the old boy, he said, do you ever tell your wife that you love her? He says, I told her I loved her the day I married her, and if I change my mind, I'll let her know. No, that's not what you're to do. You're to, and I think especially because it's the husband's responsibility to love his wife, you should tell your wife, and even tell her every day that you love her. Tell her several times a day that you love her. And I've said this before, but, you know, and I don't often write love notes anymore, but there's little things that you can do. Leslie sometimes will come in to the bathroom, you know, steam on the mirror. Have you ever seen this before? And she'll we have a code, it's 143. Anybody know what 143 means? I love you. Okay? So she puts a big 143 and then the steam goes away and you can't see it on the mirror until I take a shower. And then I pull the curtain back and there's a big 143 on the mirror. Who put that there? Well, okay. That's a good thing. Love is a decision. You can choose wherever you're at right now in your marriage. I am deciding to love my wife. If you can love your enemy and you can love people that hate you and despise you, you can love your wife. And cultivate that love and show that love and tell her that love. The second ingredient this morning is commitment. Now, one of the reasons we choose to love, even when we may not feel like loving, is because we promise to. Now, I'm talking to husbands and wives this morning. So, I've done a whole lot of weddings, but I've done a few. As a missionary, I don't know what it was. I've done lots and lots of funerals, but not very many weddings. But so in the marriage vow, a covenant, a promise, here's what the preacher will say. He will say this: will you have so-and-so to be your lawfully wedded husband or wife, to live together in the holy estate of matrimony? Now, what's the first thing? Will you love him? The preacher's asking you that question. Will you love him? Will you love her? Comfort her. Honor him. And keep her in sickness and in health, and forsaking all others. See, this is an exclusive covenant. When you're getting married, you're saying, this is my partner till death do us part, forsaking all others. No other women, no girlfriends, no flirting. She is in. He is in. So long as you both shall live, and you said, I will, or I do. That's a promise. Now, where did it say in that promise, if? Well, I will love her if she deserves it. I will love her if I feel like it. I will love her if she loves me. It doesn't say that. I will honor him if he deserves it. Well, no man's ever going to deserve it. You see, there's no if in there. It's an unconditional promise you're making to one another. And it's a covenant before God and witnesses. Now, I'm going to skip through this a little bit here. But the Bible teaches us, Malachi chapter 2, Matthew chapter 5, the Bible says, if a man writes his wife a bill of divorcement and puts her away, except it be for the cause of fornication, he causes himself to commit adultery if he marries another, and causes her to commit adultery. God forbids divorce in marriage except for the cause of fornication. And let me just tell you, the reason he put that exception is because under the law, if you were a fornicator or if you were an adulterer, you were the guilty party, then you would be taken out and stoned to death. And your wife or your husband would be the innocent party. They would still be alive. And if they were alive, then they could remarry because you're gone. You're dead. And because the Bible does not, in the New Testament, demand the death of the adulterer or the fornicator, that's why Jesus put that clause in there. But what he's saying is the commitment to marriage is ironclad. There should not be, well, we're going to try this for a few years, this marriage business, and see how it works out. That's not the way it is. Till death do us part. I've often thought, divorce is such an easy thing in our culture, and it shouldn't be. It's a happy time when people get married and we have witnesses. Wouldn't it be something in the divorce court if all the witnesses showed up? Everybody that came to the wedding showed up at the divorce proceedings and said, "You guys are now." Maybe there's a guilty party, because usually there is a guilty party when it comes to the fornication and so on. And you'd point the finger and say, you didn't keep your promise. Of course, we don't do that today. We gladly go to the wedding, but nobody shows up at the divorce court. But what I'm saying is that this commitment that must be there, it's an ingredient to marriage, that divorce is not on our vocabulary. We are here through thick and thin till death do us part. And by the way, even if there is adultery or fornication, it's not, God gives you the out there, but the heart should still be in the spite of that, to try to work through that. Because that's something, divorce is never really the answer. That person's always going to be there. And so that commitment that needs to be in our relationship. And I'll tell you, that sort of commitment breeds security and trust. I've never had to worry about Leslie come to me and say, I'm going to divorce you. Some wives will hold that over their husbands. The husband may hold it over the wife. It's like a threat. I'll leave you. I told you what I said to Leslie. I said to Leslie, I says, Leslie, if you leave me, I'm going with you. But, I mean, that's the way that's what should be in our hearts. If you're leaving, I'm going with you. Because then we're not going to be part of it. That's a commitment. And what that does, it breeds security and trust and love. There must be that wholehearted commitment. Now, commitment is a decision. Love is a decision. And commitment is a decision.